It's 10 p.m. and you're trying to fall asleep, but you can't. So what do? You're rolling around, you check your phone and 1 hour has gone by. You're trying to fall asleep, you're trying everything possible to get some shut-eye and you can't. You have so many different things on your mind, you're still rolling around and we can't get enough good sleep. Has this ever happened to you before? Look, we've all been there before, and that's why in this video today I want to show you how we can fall asleep fast. Why is actually it's so important to get sleep? Right, I think oftentimes in our lives we look for all these different kinds of ways to increase our energy levels, right? Everyone's always looking towards coffee, caffeine, towards the Red Bulls, Monster energy drinks, right? Everyone's thinking about the new energy smoothie, the new green smoothie that they can drink that can take their energy to the next level. Or how many times do we think we can get enough energy from going to a workout, going out for a walk? And while all these things are great, there's nothing wrong with them. Oftentimes we forget that the most basic, the most simple, in fact, I like to argue the most important, fundamental way to increase our energy levels is simply just to get enough sleep. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that sleep is directly responsible for increasing our mood, our focus, for allowing us to have better attention span, to study better, to retain information better. In fact, sleep, it increases our immune system. It makes us happier. It makes our decision making on a day-to-day basis. So look, I don't care if you're 14 years old and you're just getting into high school, you're a medical student, or you're an entrepreneur running a billion-dollar company. Sleep is something that we cannot avoid, and we need high quality sleep. So how exactly do we get high quality sleep? Well, I want to give you a couple different high performance lessons. Now the first one is what I like to call the 10-3-2-1 method. This is something that I personally learned from a mentor of mine, Craig Ballantyne. He makes absolutely incredible content. And the 10-3-2-1 method essentially states that 10 hours before the time that you're supposed to go to bed, go ahead and stop drinking all forms of stimulants. So if you go to bed every single night at 10 p.m., by noon, lunchtime, 12 p.m., you should stop drinking all forms of caffeine. When they get a little bit tired and they think to themselves, oh my gosh, I need to have some caffeine, do not do that. Because it turns out that when you have caffeine anytime within a 10-hour time frame from when your head hits the pillow, that's actually going to negatively impact your ability to have quality sleep. 3 is going to be 3 hours before bedtime. That is when you want to stop eating food. The reason why this is so important is because our digestive systems actually are working on the clock immediately after we eat. Now what happens is when you eat food too close to the bedtime, let's say 1 hour before bed, or God forbid, you're eating and then immediately lying down, what's going to happen is that stomach acid is actually going to start crawling up and attacking that esophageal valve that is at the top of your esophagus, and that actually could cause things like heartburn. 3 hours before bedtime, that is when you should be stop eating food. So if you go to bed at 10 p.m., the last time that you should be eating is going to be 7 p.m. And that's really, really important. 2 hours before bedtime now, this is where we want to go ahead and stop all work. Look, I've been there before. Tell me if this is something that's relatable to you. You're working all the way to the last minute before you go to bed, but because there's so many things going on inside your mind, it takes a long time for you to fall asleep. In fact, there's so much momentum building out. Maybe you're building a business and you have all these really good ideas and you fall asleep and it's just like ramming a car going 60 miles an hour into a hard brick wall, right? All of a sudden it's just too difficult to turn off. There's too much momentum. If you're studying, you're memorizing all these different things, all of a sudden, by the time you go to bed, if you just study to the last very minute, you're gonna be thinking about too many different things. It's not possible for you to stop your brain from going at 100 miles an hour to 0 miles an hour in just a quick minute. So that's why 2 hours before your bedtime, you wanna go ahead and set up a hard stop to go ahead and stop doing all work activities. Go relax, go on a walk, go watch your favorite TV show, whatever you do, just don't work. And then finally, 1 hour before bedtime, what you want to go ahead and do is to go ahead and turn off all your electronic devices. Electronic devices not only distract us, but also electronic devices can do a few things that can harm us. Number one, you might see a bad text, a bad direct message, something on social media that upsets you, and now it's on your mind and it's preventing you from going to sleep. The second thing is devices in and of themselves give off a lot of blue light, and blue light prevents us from going to sleep because blue light from devices trick us into thinking it's still daytime, and so our bodies are going to continue to stay up. Now, if you follow this 10-3-2-1 methodology, this is going to dramatically impact your ability to fall asleep at nighttime. And we're just getting started today. Has this been valuable so far? Because it has been, go ahead and drop a comment down below with what has been the most valuable so far. The second high performance lesson I want to give you is something that's called a brain dump. All a brain dump is taking out a piece of paper, pulling out a journal, and when you're done with work, writing everything that's on your mind down and onto paper. That means all the deadlines that you didn't finish, anything that's on your mind, any ideas, any stresses that are bothering you, just go ahead and write them down on a piece of paper. And that physical act of getting it off your brain and onto paper is going to clear your mind and allow for you to relax for the end of your day. A good way for you to begin to unwind and signal that that day is over, that you can stop work and you can begin relaxing, is to go ahead and have that brain dump. I always have a notebook right beside my table that is dedicated specifically for my end of day brain dumps. And so by the time it's about 6 or 7 p.m. and I'm done with work, go ahead and pull out that journal, write it down, and I'm done with work. The next high performance lesson that I'm gonna give you is this: the colder, the better. Look, a lot of the times we can't fall asleep simply because it's too warm in the room, right? How many times during a hot summer day have you ever just been rolling around, you start sleeping in only your underwear? Some people I know even sleep naked, right? Because it's too hot. And by the time you wake up in the morning, their sheets are probably on the floor because somehow subconsciously you kicked it off onto the bed because you're too hot at nighttime, right? We can actually combat against this. Now, some people don't have air conditioning, and this is gonna be a little difficult to do if you don't, but if you have air conditioning, go ahead and set the temperature in your room 1 hour before bedtime to a little bit cooler than it normally is. In the condo that I'm living in right now on the 27th floor in Toronto, typically our condo is set at 72 degrees Fahrenheit. However, when I go to bed, I like to set it at 69 to 70 degrees 1 hour before, which drops down the temperature. So it's a little cooler for me, and so that way I like to snuggle under my blanket, and it's like a nice cold winter day, and it makes it so much easier to fall asleep. So drop down that temperature 1 hour before, and that's gonna help you fall asleep a lot faster. And whoa, right now I actually wanna do the 1 minute shot clock, and this is where I answer one of your questions. So look, if you have a question you'd like me to cover, go ahead and type high performance question as well as your question, drop that in the comments below. I got my computer right here, and this week's question is going to be from King Menanis. Very cool name. The question here goes, high performance question: how to stop external pressure and opinions affecting our goals and tasks. So King, I'm gonna address you by King. This is actually gonna be a really simple answer, right? If we have critics, if we have people trying to affect us within our goals, right? Typically this is gonna be our friends, our family, or just the people in our immediate environment that have a different opinion than us. I need to ask you this: are you trying to live out your dream, or are you trying to live out the dreams of other people around you? Because it turns out, look, if you're a people pleaser, if you're constantly trying to satisfy everyone around you, your friends, your family, your classmates, your co-workers, you're never gonna be able to satisfy anyone. Remember this: if you try to please everyone, then you please no one, right? Because the reality is, a people pleaser, you're constantly just gonna be pulled left and right, and you're never gonna be able to focus on what truly matters. Now on the flip side, if you focus on what you truly believe is gonna be your goal, if you truly focus on that one business, that one dream job, getting into that one school, you focus on that one thing and you put your all effort in it, despite what anyone else thinks, it just so happens that when you achieve that thing, that's when you're gonna be able to help the most people out there possible. I think about my own life and how much criticism I had when I first started this YouTube channel, and all of these things that held me back and try to drag me down. When I stayed focused and I actually manifested and produced this business, all of a sudden there was impact. So remember, King, focus on your dreams, focus on your goals. Everything else is gonna fall into place. But if you don't focus on you first, then how are you gonna be able to help other people? Bring it back to the high performance lessons when it comes to getting better sleep. The next one I want to give you is going to be to exhaust yourself during the day. Look, I know for myself, if I have too much energy because I didn't get enough physical exercise, then by the end of my day, I'm not gonna be tired enough to sleep. Every single day, I try to do some kind of physical activity in order to bring down my energy levels. In fact, when I perform a split test on myself, on a day that I work out, either go train boxing, Muay Thai, or go to the gym and actually lift weights, compared to a day in which I don't do anything, I always fall asleep faster and get way better sleep on the days that I have physical exercise. I train 6 days a week for that exact reason. Not only do I get the physical health benefits, but I get better sleep. And then on Sundays when I don't train, I actually like going for walks. I like to stay active. Because when you just stay indoors, you're gonna have too much energy. You're gonna be bouncing off the walls and have too much energy for you to fall asleep. So make this promise to me that you're gonna commit to exercising at least once a day for, heck, 3 to 4 times a week. Start from there and then go ahead and exercise more frequently, because you're gonna see your health benefits and you're gonna see increased benefits of sleep. Now look, sleep is just one of the components to increasing your performance in all areas of your life. And that's why I actually am gonna be hosting a free live high performance masterclass this coming Saturday, which I'm gonna be talking about a couple ways to increase your productivity to help you get back to 12 and a half hours of your current work week. You heard me right. I'm gonna put a couple screenshots of my students. We're talking working professionals, entrepreneurs, university students that have gone through my trainings and radically transformed the performance. So if you're interested, go ahead and click the first link down below in the description. That's gonna take you to the registration page where you can type your name, your email, and go ahead and sign up for the masterclass happening this coming Saturday. And I cannot wait to see you there. Remember, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'll see you next week. You see, sleep. Now the first one is going to be what I call the time to act, and so that's why, and by the end, I typically, oh man, just finished lunch.